The night before the wedding, my girlfriend, the CEO, suddenly asks if I would mind being her second marriage. I think she is joking. Maybe pre-wedding jitters. So I just say, I don't mind. After all, we have been together for 10 years. There's no way she has been married before. But the next day, I wait at the marriage registry office until dark, and Sloane never shows. Instead, I get a social media post from her male assistant, dripping with provocation. From this day forward, the CEO is not just my boss, she is my wife. P.S. Some people spend 10 years closing a 9-figure deal. So what if they pressured me into marriage? Nothing beats me saying, I'm marrying someone else. The photo attached is their marriage certificate, bright red and fresh. Co-workers flood the comments. All of them are waiting to watch me lose it with jealousy. I let out a cold laugh. I hit like and drop a comment. Certificate's done. When's the wedding? I'll definitely send a generous gift. The next second, Sloane calls. Her voice is ice cold. You said yourself you didn't mind. Besides, there's a reason I went to register a marriage with Callum. His parents are forcing him to quit and go on blind dates. I can't afford to lose him. He's a valuable employee. That's why I agreed to register with him. Dealing with his parents doesn't mean I'm abandoning you. So why are you being so passive-aggressive? You have 1 minute to delete that comment, and then apologize to Callum. Once we get through his parents, I'll divorce him and register with you. That's a promise. I laugh. No need. Let's break up. Silence. On the other end of the line, Sloane pauses. When she speaks again, her voice is sharp with anger. Grayson, I already told you. Registering with Callum is just for show. It's just paperwork. All of it is to deal with his parents. And you're going to nitpick over this? I already made you a promise. What more do you want from me? There's a limit to how much of a tantrum you can throw. Breaking up isn't something you just throw around as a joke. I tighten my grip on the phone. I look around at the empty space in front of me. Just me and a few registry office staff remaining. A bitter smile pulls at my lips. This time, I don't do what I always used to do. Swallow the hurt and stay quiet. Instead, I fire back, my voice flat and cold. Right. Just paperwork. From taking a queue ticket to walking out with a certificate, it takes less than 10 minutes. And yet, something that simple. After 10 years together, you couldn't do it with me. But you did it with Callum. And this time, getting registered was your idea. And then you stood me up for an entire day. Am I not allowed to be angry? For 10 years, marrying Sloane has been my dream. I dream about it, a happy life together as husband and wife. Because of that dream, I have already prepared the wedding favors and invitations. I have already scouted the bridal studio, chosen our wedding outfits, even picked out the venue. Everything is ready. All Sloane has to do is say yes, I could get married tomorrow. But every time I try to move things forward, Sloane hides behind the company as an excuse. Now is a critical period for the business, she says. Wait until things settle down. So to help her stabilize the company, I voluntarily take on every dirty job, every exhausting task. I work through the night, skipping meals and sleep. Eventually, the company stabilizes. But then she says she's still not ready. Just wait a little longer. And I wait, for 10 years, until yesterday. The day she finds out I landed a 9-figure deal for her company. Sloane, who has been dragging her feet for years, finally gives in. She agrees to register our marriage. She calls it my reward. My heart is full. I think, finally, after all these years of waiting, it's happening. I'm so excited I don't sleep all night. I take a full day off work. I get up early and head to the marriage registry office to wait. But I wait until dark and Sloane never comes. Instead, I see a post from Callum showing off their marriage certificate like a trophy. To avoid running into me, they drove all the way to a neighboring province to register. The bright red marriage certificate in the photo burns into my eyes. Sloane was never not ready. She just never wanted to register with me. I come back to the call. Sloane is still yelling. Grayson, are you done? Didn't I already tell you there's a reason for all of this? I can't just stand by and watch Callum get forced into a marriage. That would be throwing him into the fire. I'm doing this to keep a valuable employee. Are you saying I did something wrong? I find it laughable. So many people at that company are pressured into marriage. Why doesn't Sloane fight for any of them? She only goes out of her way for Callum. And what kind of talent is Callum, anyway? His work performance is practically zero. He can't even handle basic office software. His numbers are always at the bottom. 6 months in and he hasn't closed a single deal. If Sloane hadn't taken my projects and handed them to him to boost his numbers, he would have been fired a long time ago. Maybe Sloane doesn't even realize it herself. Her favoritism toward Callum has seeped into every little corner of her daily life. It's a tenderness she doesn't even know she carries. An instinct. A reflex. The thought makes me laugh coldly. You're not wrong, I say. I'm the one who's wrong. Sloane hears this and thinks I'm actually backing down. A hint of smugness creeps into her voice. Good. Now that you know you're wrong, go delete that comment and apologize to Callum. What are people at the company going to think? She hasn't even finished speaking. I cut her off. My biggest mistake was not breaking up with you sooner. Grayson, you are completely unreasonable. So you want to keep pushing like this? She hangs up on me, furious. A moment later, my phone lights up. Notification after notification of our couple statuses being removed across every app. And that's not all. She swaps out our couple profile pictures too. This is what Sloane always does when she's angry. She puts on a show of power to pressure me into backing down. But this time, I am truly exhausted. I have no desire to coax her back like I always have. I'm about to put my phone away, when Callum tags me in the workgroup chat. Gray, there's a reason Viv and I registered. Viv is just being kind, helping me deal with my parents pushing me to get married. These days a boss as caring as Viv is hard to find. Please don't misunderstand when you see her. If I had known you'd feel this way, I wouldn't have posted anything. This is my fault. I'm sorry, Gray. Sloane immediately replies to Callum. You did nothing wrong. No need to apologize. The one who should be apologizing is the one being passive-aggressive and assuming the worst. Everyone in the group chat catches Sloane's meaning. They pile on. Exactly, Callum. This isn't your fault. Grayson is just being petty. He's jealous that you're young and good-looking and that Ms. Sue values you so much. That's why he's spreading rumors. Miss Sue is so kind and generous. And Grayson, her own boyfriend, is cold and heartless. Not an ounce of empathy. He deserves to get stood up. Miss Sue handled that perfectly. Someone needed to take him down a notch. Ever since Callum joined the company, and Sloane started showing him obvious favoritism, these two-faced coworkers have been sucking up to whoever's on top and whispering behind my back. I'm used to it. I'm numb to it. A little gossip like this can't hurt me. I don't bother reading any more of it. I lock my screen and come back to myself. A staff member at the registry office looks at me with pity. Sir, you've been here all day. The person you're waiting for. They're still not here? We're about to close. Maybe come back tomorrow? I shake my head. I look down. She already registered with someone else. She's not coming, and I won't be coming back tomorrow either. I look down at the queue ticket still in my hand. The irony hits me. I was the first one here, and I'm the last one to leave. A cold laugh escapes me. I tear the ticket to pieces and drop it in the trash. The person and the wedding that will never come. I'm done waiting. A love that gets nothing in return. I don't want it anymore. After tossing the ticket, I walk toward the exit with long, steady strides. But just as I reach the door, Sloane calls. I almost decline it, but out of habit, I answer. The moment the call connects, her voice comes through, sharp and imperious. Grayson, are you ready to admit you were wrong? Before I can say a word, she keeps going. I'm going to give you a chance to make this right. Callum spent all day traveling to register that marriage. He's exhausted. He was out in the cold all day. He needs to rest. So his client dinner tonight, you're going in his place. If you handle it well, I'll let the whole passive-aggressive comment thing slide. Consider it forgotten. Listening to her speak to me like I'm a servant, I let out a sharp laugh. Sloane seems to have forgotten. I spent the entire day at the registry office waiting for her. I was out in the cold all day too. There was a time when I barely caught a chill, just one sneeze, and Sloane rushed over with my jacket, her face full of worry. She draped it over my shoulders herself. Back home, she made me hot ginger tea, made sure I took medicine. She was terrified I'd get sick. And now she speaks to me like I'm hired help, as if I'm just a convenient tool. My feelings don't even register. And here's the thing. She seems to have also forgotten that I have a severe alcohol allergy. I cannot drink. Period. Back in the early years, when the company was still getting off the ground, when we had to humble ourselves at every client dinner, begging for signatures, Sloane, looking out for my health, would turn down every event where alcohol was involved. Every single one. And when she couldn't get out of it, she would step in and drink in my place. She would come home drunk every time, hunched over the toilet, sick, and still worried about me. Don't worry about me, she'd say. Go to sleep. Don't let this affect your health. But now, this woman who once had eyes only for me has changed. This time, I don't do what I always used to, cling to our crumbling relationship and surrender out of desperation. Instead, I turn her down, my voice cold. I have a severe alcohol allergy. I can't go. And besides, this is Callum's client dinner, not part of my job. She clearly didn't expect me to say no. On the other end of the line, Sloane goes silent for a beat. Then she explodes. I am speaking to you perfectly calmly, and you want to pull this? I pay your salary. That means you answer to me around the clock. That is your obligation. I smile, completely unbothered. Then I quit. Before she can respond, I hang up. Then I dial a number I haven't called in a long time. Ray, I'm accepting your offer. Ray runs a design firm based overseas, globally recognized, one of the biggest names in the industry. We first crossed paths during a collaboration about a year ago. While we were finalizing the contract, I happened to notice a product they were about to launch. In pursuit of aesthetics, the design had a structural flaw, something that would fail easily under regular use. The fallout could have been massive. After I flagged it, Ray immediately sent a team to investigate. They caught it just in time and overhauled the production line before launch. That saved them tens of millions of dollars. After that, Ray became one of the few real friends I have overseas. After he had someone look into things and found out I was being pushed out at Sloane's company, he flew in from overseas more than once, overnight, just to personally offer me a position at his firm. He promised me the role of creative director and $8 million in stock options. But Sloane had a childhood trauma that made her refuse to leave the country. She wanted to stay home. So I turned Ray down. Again and again. I gave up a future most people would dream of just to stay by her side. I thought if I gave her my whole heart, she would give me hers. Instead, I lost everything. Looking back now, for Sloane, I burned through my youth. I wrecked my health. I walked through 10 years of storms beside her, and I couldn't even get a title. It wasn't worth it. It's time I started thinking about myself. On the other end of the line, Ray's delighted voice pulls me back. Are you serious, Gray? You're always welcome here whenever you're ready. But last I heard you were planning to get married and settle down at home. What changed? I laugh a little awkwardly. Nothing major. We broke up, that's all. A pause on the other end. Then Ray says gently, Gray, I don't know the full story, but I know who you are. Losing you is her loss. The next moment my phone buzzes. A transfer for 50,000 comes through. Take this for now. Get yourself settled. I'll be waiting for you overseas. I smile, calm and quiet. We talk for a few more minutes. He fills me in on the role, and we hang up. I've barely accepted the transfer when Sloane posts on social media. In the photo, she and Callum are at a trendy new steakhouse. All you can see is steak and pasta, a full Western spread. The caption reads, Instant sparks, and after all this time, still butterflies. I look at the photo. Sloane is beaming, eating a piece of steak Callum is feeding her. A sarcastic smile crosses my face. Sloane once told me that Western food was the one thing she hated most, because her father was lured away by a woman from overseas, and abandoned her and her mother when Sloane was just 3 years old. That left a wound that never healed. Not only did she refuse to eat Western food, she rejected everything foreign. Even in business, she only worked with domestic clients. The overseas deals she passed on, worth at least 9 figures in total. On our very first date, I had no idea about any of this. Wanting to make it special, I spent an entire month's savings and took her to the finest Western restaurant in this city. The moment the steak, worth hundreds per bite, landed on the table, Sloane's face went dark. She flipped the table. She hurled the hot steak straight at my face. Didn't say a word. Just turned and walked out. Left me there, alone, with every person in that restaurant staring and laughing. When I got home, she gave me the silent treatment for an entire week. In the end, I was the one on my knees in the living room, begging, and I transferred her over 100,000 as compensation. Only then did the matter get buried. And now, here she is, being fed some cheap processed steak that's been frozen for who knows how long, and Sloane looks absolutely blissful. Not a trace of disgust. I guess that says it all. Love really is the best medicine. Even a wound that runs that deep, it can heal it just like that. But this time I just smile and close the app. It's not until my stomach growls that I realize I haven't eaten anything all day. I text Theo right away. You up for some barbecue? He replies instantly. Already at the barbecue stand. Theo is working through a skewer when he suddenly seems to remember something. He glances at his watch, then asks carefully, Hey, doesn't Sloane have a strict curfew for you? Aren't you supposed to be home by now? You're almost past the deadline. You really not going? It's almost funny, honestly. Ever since we got together, Sloane has always said she feels insecure, afraid I'll stray. So she laid down strict rules. I had to be home by 10 every night. I had to reply to her messages instantly. And her calls, no matter what I was doing, could not ring more than 3 seconds before I picked up. If she video called to check on me, even in the middle of a client meeting, if I dared to decline, she would walk out that very night and give me the silent treatment. Knowing the trauma her childhood left behind, I quietly put up with all of it. But she had a completely different set of rules for herself. She'd go entire days without replying to me. Sometimes she wouldn't come home at all. Once, I was genuinely worried about her safety, so I video called her. She erupted, sent me dozens of messages back to back, saying I was controlling, that I didn't respect her privacy. Then she gave me the silent treatment for a full month. She thought she was hiding it so well. But I had already seen the photos Callum sent me, pictures of the two of them together. I knew. All of it was just an excuse to spend time with Callum, and I played along like a fool, strictly following her curfew, missing friends' dinners multiple times because of it, until one by one they stopped inviting me altogether. My social circle shrank and shrank until my entire world revolved around Sloane. Looking back now, none of it was worth it. I take a hard bite of a skewer. Don't worry about it. She can't touch me anymore. We're done. The words land. Theo freezes for a second, then he claps me on the back. Genuinely happy for me. Gray, you should have walked away a long time ago. After everything she's pulled, she never deserved how good you were to her. Anyway, forget about it. Tonight's on me. You're not leaving until we've had a proper night. I nod, smiling. We order 2 more massive platters of barbecue, and Theo and I eat until well past midnight before heading home. The moment I open the door, a throw pillow comes flying straight at my face. Then, Sloane's icy voice cuts through the air. Do you have any idea what time it is? You actually came back? I'm surprised. I didn't expect Sloane to be here, because every time she went out with Callum she'd use a client dinner as cover and not come home. I usually wouldn't see her until the next afternoon. I'm still caught off guard, and the pillow hits me hard. My nose starts bleeding. Sloane freezes. A flicker of guilt crosses her eyes. She grabs some tissues, almost rises to help me, but stops herself. She sits back down on the couch. Why are you coming home this late? She demands coldly. Curfew was hours ago. Where were you? I don't answer. I just go to the drawer and find antiseptic and cotton swabs to clean up the blood. Sloane watches me ignore her completely, and she snaps. She won't stop. Grayson, I'm talking to you. Are you deaf? Or is it that you've been doing something behind my back and you don't have the guts to tell me? That gets a cold laugh out of me. I meet her eyes. What about you? Why are you suddenly home? Callum doesn't need you tonight. Sloane stiffens. She clearly didn't expect me to call her out so directly. To put it all on the table, her brow furrows quickly. What are you even talking about? She says, defensive. I didn't have any plans tonight. I helped Callum with something and came straight home. Before, when Callum and I were out, it was purely business, work trips, client dinners. Stop overthinking it. I came back because I could tell you were in a bad mood. Standing you up today, that was wrong of me, I know. But that still doesn't give you the right to go completely silent on me. And to come home this late on top of it. I thought something had happened to you. I was this close to calling the police. And the first thing you do when you walk in is be passive-aggressive. I was worried you hadn't eaten. Worried you weren't even hungry. I even packed you that seafood congee you love from your favorite place. I glance at the coffee table. The congee is stone cold. And I feel sick. After all these years, she still hasn't realized. Every single time she pressured me to give in for Callum's sake, she would order that exact seafood congee to soften me up first. Now, just the smell of it makes me physically nauseous. No thanks, I already ate. She hears that, but completely misses the coldness behind it. She thinks she's already won me back. She presses on, casually. Oh right, Callum mentioned his parents are hard to fool. They won't let up until they see actual wedding photos. So tomorrow, I have to go do a bridal shoot with him. I remember you've done research on this kind of thing. Can you recommend a bridal studio that turns photos around quickly? And one with nice wedding outfits? I watch her rattle off instructions, eyes full of a warmth and excitement I haven't seen in a long time. And I feel even more sick. She knows I researched all of this, for our wedding, and now she's asking me to use that research to help plan hers and Callum's. The thought settles in. Figure it out yourselves, I say flatly. I have no advice to offer. Sloane blinks, caught off guard. Then she gets genuinely angry. Grayson, this is just an act, okay? Something Callum and I are putting on. You're really going to take it this seriously? I cut right through it. Whether it's an act or real feelings, you know the truth. Because just now, when she mentioned the bridal shoot, her eyes lit up. Anyone could see it. She's fallen for him. At my words, Sloane stamps her foot in fury. This is the first time she's ever been backed into a corner by me. You are completely unreasonable. I don't even bother arguing. I turn to walk to the room, but Sloane rushes past me and gets there first. She grabs my pillow and hurls it out. You are not sleeping in the same bed as me. Tonight you can drag yourself to the study and think hard about what you've done wrong. She slams the bedroom door shut, pulls out the key and locks it twice, like she's barricading herself against a burglar. I know exactly what she's doing, trying to force me to beg. What she doesn't know is this is exactly what I wanted. I had no intention of sharing a bed with her tonight anyway. I just need to pack my things and get out. There's nothing in that bedroom worth taking. Just a few pieces of clothing I've worn for 3 or 4 years, washed so many times they've lost their shape. I shake my head. I grab the suitcase from the corner of the living room and head to the study. While I'm packing up the documents on the desk, a folder suddenly slips. The next second, hundreds of handwritten letters scatter across the floor. I take one look, and I go completely still. These are the love letters I wrote to Sloane. That was 5 years ago. It was a change of season. A bad flu was going around. Sloane caught it unexpectedly. Her fever spiked to almost 106 degrees Fahrenheit. She was rushed to the hospital. Hours of treatment passed and her fever still wouldn't break. Drifting in and out of consciousness, she thought she was dying. She gripped my hand tight and wouldn't let go. She said she hadn't heard enough of the love letters I'd written her. She begged me to keep reading them to her. That way, even if I die, you can take these letters and burn them at my grave, so I won't be so lonely on the other side. To keep her conscious, to help the doctors do their work, I agreed through tears. I grabbed a pen and paper and wrote one by one every little thing from our years together, reading each one aloud to her. By the time Sloane's fever finally broke, I'd gone through 10 pens. The index finger I had used to write was raw and bleeding. Every single letter, soaked through with my tears and scattered here and there with drops of my blood. When Sloane finally came to, fully recovered, she saw my right hand, cramped and twisted from hours of gripping that pen. Her eyes went red with tears instantly. She held on to me like she'd never let go. She cried and promised she would spend her whole life treating me well, that she would never let anyone hurt me again. But now she has Callum, and because of Callum she has hurt me, over and over again. In the end she couldn't keep her promise. I come back to myself and take a slow breath. I don't take the letters with me. I gather them all and drop them in the trash. The love she gave me has long since expired. Keeping these letters would only make me sick. There's no point. When I finish packing up everything from the desk and look around at the nearly empty study, at the suitcase that isn't even half full, I laugh out loud. All this time, Sloane would always complain about how much pressure the company was under. Cash flow was tight, she'd say. She told me to save every penny of my salary, start planning ahead for the wedding. Because when the time came, it wouldn't just be the wedding, there were the traditional gifts, furnishing a home, renovations, money needed everywhere. I believed every empty promise she fed me, so I cut every corner I could. Whether it was the scorching peak of summer, hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk, or the dead of winter, so cold that 2 layers of puffer jackets still couldn't stop the shaking, I never wavered. I wore dollar store work boots, shipping included. When I ordered food, I'd go out of my way, joining over 100 discount group chats just to snag a coupon worth $1 or $2. All that effort. And in the end, eating cheap budget meal deals, and all that money I saved, I handed it all to Sloane. She turned around and cleared out her shopping cart, bought serums at $1,000 or $2,000 a bottle, pampered herself, wore heels that cost several thousand a pair, became the most polished, dazzling presence on everyone's social media feed. Looking back now, I let myself get completely blinded by her promises of marriage. For a woman who never truly loved me, I ran my body into the ground while I was still young. It was not worth it. With that time and that money, I should have invested in myself, built myself into someone better, The thought makes me shake my head. No more dwelling on a past I can't change. I pull the suitcase toward the door, ready to go, when a sharp metallic clang sounds behind me. I turn around. My suitcase has knocked into the metal safe box sitting in the corner. That safe box is the most precious thing Sloane owns. I remember when a massive typhoon hit, windows shattered all through the apartment, and Sloane didn't even think about her own life. She risked everything to drag that safe box to safety first. No one has ever known what she keeps inside it. I've wondered for years. I've tried dozens of 4-digit combinations. Our anniversary, my birthday, Sloane's birthday, her mother's birthday, even the date her parents divorced. I tried them all, not one worked. Once the curiosity got to me so badly that I called in a locksmith. I was determined to find out. But when the locksmith arrived, he took one look at it, packed up all his tools, and turned to leave. No matter how much I offered to pay him, he just kept shaking his head. Finally, worn down by my persistence, he told me what he knew. That unassuming little box, no bigger than a makeup case, was something else entirely. Not only was the lock mechanism built with cutting-edge nano-level anti-theft technology from overseas, but the box itself was made from imported aerospace-grade materials, completely indestructible. Clearly this safe box cost a fortune. Sloane had put serious thought into it. With no way in, neither by charm nor by force, I gave up. So after all these years with Sloane, I have never known what that safe box holds, and now I'm leaving. Maybe it's something left unresolved in me, or maybe I just need to confirm a suspicion. Half expecting nothing, I type in the date Sloane broke up with her ex. I don't expect it to work. After all, she never once mentioned this ex to me, not a single word. If it weren't for accidentally overhearing her best friend bring it up once, I wouldn't even know that Sloane had been in a relationship before me. But the safe box lets out a beep, and unlocks. I stare, stunned. Who is this ex of Sloane's, that she can't let go of them even now, to the point of risking her life? The next moment I open the safe box, and my eyes go wide. Inside, packed in, layer upon layer, crammed full, are all kinds of small objects, each sealed carefully in vacuum-sealed bags. Some are toys, some are bookmarks, some are just a single lollipop. I'm still trying to make sense of it when I notice the back of each vacuum-sealed bag has a handwritten note stuck to it, recording the story behind each item. May 7th, 2016. During class, Callum gave me a strawberry lollipop, the first thing he ever gave me. So happy. Today feels strawberry-flavored too. June 7th, 2016. Today is my birthday. Callum wove me a ring out of wild grass. He said he would marry me one day. So embarrassing. I never even said yes. January 1st, 2017. Tonight is New Year's Eve. Callum gave me New Year's chocolate. I want to eat it so badly. But this is Callum's love. I have to keep it. I've only read a few of these, and I have no desire to read anymore. No wonder, every time Sloane slipped into the study alone late at night, I could hear the faint sound of her laughing to herself. Even if she stayed up the entire night, she'd be completely bright-eyed the next morning. A smile still at the corners of her eyes. Now I understand. These are her most treasured memories, of Callum. A bitter, sarcastic smile crosses my face. I had thought Sloane had simply grown tired of us, and on a whim, ended up with Callum, her male assistant. But it turns out Callum is the very ex she has never once breathed a word about. Her feelings for Callum were never a passing impulse. She never stopped thinking about him. So what was I all these years? But no matter what the answer is, it doesn't matter anymore. Whatever Sloane and I had, it ends here. I shake my head, I zip up the suitcase, and I walk out of this place without looking back. I check into a hotel near the airport. The next morning I sleep soundly for the first time in a long while. When I wake up, I send Sloane my resignation, casually, like it's nothing. I'm about to go wash up when my phone buzzes. Resignation approved. Normally any message I send Sloane takes at least 3 or 4 hours to get a response, but she approved this one instantly. I'm still puzzling over it, since when is Sloane this efficient, when Callum sends me a photo. It's a picture of him and Sloane at a bridal studio trying on wedding outfits. The message drips with provocation. So what if you and Viv were together for 10 years? In the end, the one registering with her, taking wedding photos with her, is me. I smile coldly to myself. No wonder. Sloane approved it without hesitation, because she was too busy with Callum, trying on wedding outfits, to spare even 1 second on me. Every time Sloane is with Callum, she has no bandwidth for anything else. She has stood me up hundreds of times because of it. After the resignation is finalized, I walk out of the office. But the moment I step out, I hear the coworkers around me gossiping without even trying to hide it. So funny, CEO's boyfriend, so what? He just got kicked to the curb, someone thought he could play hard to get. Looks like he played himself. And then someone goes further, grabs a cup, pretends to lose their grip, and drenches me, waiting to watch me squirm. But this time, I don't take it like I always used to. I step to the side and dodge it, then grab the nearest cup and pour it straight over his head. I'm leaving because someone offered me a better deal. Unlike you people, you don't even have that option. I leave without so much as a glance at their pale, stunned faces. I don't look back. After leaving the company, I share the news of my resignation with both Ray and Theo. Then I book a flight for that same evening. The moment I finish booking, Theo messages me. He wants to throw me a farewell dinner before I go. On the way to the restaurant, we pass right by a bridal studio. Theo suddenly stops. He points at 2 people inside and grabs my arm. Grayson, isn't that Sloane and Callum? I look up, and I go still. The wedding suit I had been so excited about, is now on Callum's body. He seems to have no trouble taking everything that was supposed to be mine, my projects, my wedding registration, the marriage I had dreamed of, all of it, taken by him. Theo can't contain himself. He rolls up his sleeves and starts marching toward the door to confront them. I stop him, calm. Let it go. Before I leave, all I want is a good meal. There's no reason to waste time on people like this, and besides, Sloane and I are over. What she does has nothing to do with me anymore. I turn to leave, but at that moment Sloane spots me, maybe out of guilt. She instinctively panics. She quickly drops Callum's hand and puts space between them. Grayson, what are you doing here? Callum slides me a sideways, taunting glance. He half smiles. Viv, Gray must have gotten our location from HR. He followed us on purpose. One nudge from Callum is all it takes. Sloane's temper flares. You were following us? Grayson, we've been together for 10 years, and you still don't trust me? I laugh, because I'm furious. Trust? What about you? When have you ever trusted me? All it takes is a couple of words from Callum and you're ready to doubt me. Callum's eyes go red. Gray, you've got this all wrong. Viv and I, we're only taking these photos to deal with my parents. If this bothers you that much, we won't do it. I'll go cancel the marriage certificate right now. I'll just go on the blind dates my parents set up. He makes a move to leave. Sloane grabs him and stops him. She shoots me a cold glare. Enough, she snaps. Grayson, is this really the time to be throwing a jealous fit? Do you have to push Callum into a corner like this? We had a deal. Once Callum's parents are handled, I'll register with you. Why can't you wait just a few more days? And this is work hours. You're skipping work. That's a pay deduction. Go back to the office right now and I'll let this slide. And if I don't? If you keep this up, believe me, I will fire you. Sloane stares me down, dead serious. The threat is unmistakable. She thinks I can't bear to leave the company I've built my career at. That I can't bear to leave her. Every single time, she pulls out the resignation card and the breakup card to keep me in line. But facing her 99th threat, I'm not angry. I actually laugh. Don't bother, because just a little while ago, I already resigned. I pull out my phone and show her the approval notification, the one she signed off on not long ago. The moment Sloane sees it, her pupils constrict. Resigned? When did I ever approve that? Callum catches the moment, and a smile curls at the corner of his mouth. He fans the flames. Gray, I get that you're upset, but throwing around a fake resignation as a joke? Forging an approval just to mess with Viv? She's running this company on her own. She's already exhausted. What if you actually make her sick? At that, Sloane turns to me, eyes full of disappointment. Grayson, she says coldly, you're a grown adult, and you still can't match Callum's maturity? Forging a fake approval just to get a reaction out of me? That playing hard to get routine doesn't work on me. My patience has its limits. You've pushed far enough. Keep going, and you'll cross a line you can't come back from. She pauses, then gives me her final ultimatum. I'm giving you one last chance. While I still haven't changed my mind, get back to that office. Otherwise your commission for this month, every last cent of it, is gone. I look her in the eye. She means it. And yet all I feel is a strange, hollow irony. I showed her the screenshot, proof, right in front of her, and she still chooses to believe Callum's spin on it over my own words. Do what you want, I say flatly. I've already resigned. Watching me push back again and again, Sloane's temper finally snaps. Grayson, you're still lying. You really think I won't come after you? Fine. You want to do this the hard way. Then don't blame me for what comes next. She still thinks I'm bluffing. Furious, she calls HR directly. The line connects, and she gives the order, ice in her voice. Dock every cent of Grayson's commission this month. She throws me a satisfied glance as she says it, making it clear she thinks this will finally break me. But the next second, the voice from HR hits her like a bolt of lightning. She goes completely still. Dock what commission? Ms. Sue, have you forgotten? Grayson already resigned. At those words, Sloane's eyes go wide, completely blindsided. When did this happen? About half an hour ago. When Grayson submitted the resignation request, you approved it instantly. I assumed you two had already worked it out. It finally hit Sloane. Half an hour ago, she was busy trying on wedding outfits with Callum. She must have tapped approve without even looking. The realization drains the color from her face. When she speaks again, there's a thread of blame in her voice. Something this important. Why didn't you catch it? Why didn't you remind me? On the other end, the HR rep sounds like they're on the verge of tears. But Ms. Sue, you were the one who told us. You said going forward, only Callum's matters needed to be flagged to you directly. Everyone else, handle it ourselves. Especially anything involving Grayson, just deal with it on our end. Don't bother you with it. Hearing that, I already knew Sloane didn't care about me. But I didn't know she had written me off this completely. She couldn't even be bothered to handle basic handover procedures. But honestly, thank goodness for her indifference. Without it, I never would have gotten out this cleanly. After the HR rep says all of that, Sloane's expression tightens with visible embarrassment. That's completely different, she snaps. What I said back then was said in frustration. You can't even tell when I'm venting? What good are you then? You're just making things worse. You're fired. Pack your stuff and get out. She hangs up in a fury. Then she turns to me, watching my face carefully. Her voice softens. Grayson, this is all a misunderstanding. HR dropped the ball. They couldn't even tell when I was serious or just venting. I was swamped at the time. That's why I accidentally hit approve, but I never meant for you to actually resign, so that approval doesn't count. She hasn't even finished. I cut her off flat and cold. Whether you meant it or not, you approved it. Legally, it counts. I have resigned. The color drains completely from Sloane's face. She opens her mouth, but Callum cuts in first. Viv, I'm so sorry. The reason things got this bad between you and Gray, it's my fault. If I hadn't dragged you into this whole act, the registration, the wedding photos to fool my parents, Gray probably never would have gotten angry enough to quit. If anyone should be resigning, it's me. I'll go submit my resignation right now. Go back home and go on the blind dates, please. You and Gray shouldn't be fighting over me anymore. I don't want to be the one who destroys your relationship. As he says all of this, Callum reaches out and grabs my arm, playing the concerned friend. Gray, the job market out there is brutal right now. Without Viv, what kind of job do you think you're going to find? Just swallow your pride and make things right with her. Don't throw your future away like this. Taking her cue from Callum, Sloane uses my career as leverage. Grayson, she scoffs. You're not exactly young anymore. Your career is winding down. Without me, who is going to want you? If you apologize to Callum right now and go back to work like nothing happened, I will pretend the resignation never happened. But if you don't, when you can't find another job, don't you dare come crawling back to me. Before I can say a word, Theo, standing beside me, has had enough. He steps forward. Who says Grayson can't find a job? You really don't know? He's already accepted an offer from a major international firm. He leaves this afternoon. We came out today specifically for his farewell dinner. And of all the luck, we run into you two. Theo shoots Sloane a cold, dismissive look. He scoffs. Sloane, you really have no idea, do you? That international firm is offering him far more than you ever did. Leaving you is the best thing that's ever happened to him. He'll go further than you could ever imagine. Staying by your side, that was his misfortune. And honestly, what a joke. I worked like a slave for Sloane for 10 years. She gave me exactly one raise. 500. After that raise, my base salary was still only 100 above the interns. But I was doing 10 times their work. Sloane kept stringing me along with empty promises. Don't worry about the money. Once we're married, half the company is yours. Half of everything. I waited 10 years. The wedding candy in my drawer melted away. The invitations yellowed. And the wedding never came. What came instead was her favoritism. Her betrayal. Sloane stands frozen, hearing all this. She doesn't move. Callum's eyes flash with something sharp. Jealousy, spite. Gray, why go overseas? There are plenty of options here. Why does it have to be abroad? You know overseas is off limits for Viv. Of course I know Sloane can't bring herself to leave the country. That's exactly why I'm doing this. So that we will never cross paths again. Callum's words do their job. Sloane snaps. Grayson, you did this on purpose, didn't you? Quitting in a fit of anger, and now throwing a tantrum about going overseas? All I did was play along with Callum's act. Are you really going to keep pushing this? I'm telling you right now, turn down that overseas offer, or I'm breaking up with you. And forget about us ever registering. She knows, or thinks she knows, that I can't leave her. So every time we disagree, she pulls out the breakup threat. And before, because I loved her, every time she said those words, I would go against my own conscience and apologize, beg for her forgiveness. But now, she has no hold on me. I smile, cold and steady. Sloane, have you forgotten? 2 days ago, the day you went and registered with Callum, that's the day we broke up. At those words, something shifts in Sloane's expression. She trembles slightly, and she stands there, frozen. Beside her, a slow smile spreads across Callum's face. His eyes gleam with barely concealed triumph. It takes Sloane a long moment to come back to herself. Wait, what you said that day? That wasn't just venting? You were serious? You actually want to break up with me? I've always been serious. She looks at my face, calm, unshaken, and she bites down hard on her lip. Just because I registered with Callum? Yes. And hearing that, Sloane nearly crumbles. The wall she's been hiding behind finally starts to crack. Grayson, 10 years. You're throwing away 10 years over something like this? Callum and I, it was just going through the motions. Was it really worth all of this? Looking at the disbelief on her face, I almost find it funny. Yes, Sloane, it is. I waited for you for 10 years. 10 years and you couldn't register with me. But Callum, pressured into a marriage, and just like that, you registered with him. In your heart, who matters more? It couldn't be clearer. 10 years together, and what did it count for? You still left me for Callum, someone you've known less than 6 months, and left me, the man who loved you for 10 years, stranded at the marriage registry office for an entire day. Do you have any idea what it felt like? Watching couple after couple walk in and register. How much I envied every single one of them. Sloane has nothing to say. Guilt flickers in her eyes. Grayson, I didn't stand you up on purpose that day. I know it was wrong of me, but I made you a promise. Once Callum gets through things with his parents, I will register with you. And if that's not enough, I'll give you the wedding of the century. I'll make it up to you. That has to be enough, right? I laugh softly. Sloane, even now, Callum still comes first. What else is there to say? I should have ended this sooner. I really should have. Let you two be together. Callum jumps in, oh so eagerly. Viv, I know breaking up with Gray hurts. I know it's not easy, but it's done now. Don't hold on to the past. Life goes on. You have to keep moving forward. Even though things are over with Gray, you still have me. No matter what happens, I'll be right here with you. I'm not going anywhere. I expect Sloane to lean into it, step right into Callum's arms, but the next second, She shoves Callum away. She rushes toward me, eyes wide with panic. She grabs my hand. Her eyes are going red. No, Grayson, I'm not letting you break up with me. When we got together, it took both of us to say yes, so why should you get to end it all on your own? I don't agree to this. I'm caught off guard. She clearly has feelings for Callum. I'm giving her the opening to be with him. She should be relieved. So why is she fighting this? But I'm not going to overthink it. I quietly pull my hand free. Sloane, our breakup is already a done deal. Whether you agree to it or not, it doesn't change anything. I've already wasted far too much time on this. It's well past dinner time now. My boarding time is coming up fast. I turn to Theo and apologize. Sorry, man. Looks like I'm gonna have to miss that farewell dinner. I've got a flight to catch. Theo puts a hand on my shoulder, gives me a nod. Don't worry about it. It's just a meal. Your future is what matters. Let me drive you to the airport. Just as Theo and I are about to get in the car, Sloane suddenly sets her jaw. She lunges forward and grabs my arm tight. No, we haven't settled this breakup properly. You are not leaving. I look at her, making demands, twisting reality, and I shake her off with a cold laugh. Don't forget, Miss Sue. You're Mrs. Pei now. You are a married woman. We're not close enough for this. You wouldn't want your husband, Callum, to get the wrong idea. I put deliberate weight on the word husband. I let it land. Sloane hears exactly what I mean. Every word of it. Her expression darkens. Grayson, I knew it. You're jealous. You're upset. You're just playing hard to get, aren't you? How many more times do I have to explain this to you? I've told you. Callum and I just went through the motions. We'll be divorced soon. It's not like I'm refusing to register with you. Was all of this really necessary? I find it almost funny. My own fiancé was taken by someone else, and I don't even have the right to walk away. I'm just supposed to keep being the fool, while everyone laughs at me, their personal punchline. Even now, Sloane, who has always claimed to love me, has never once stopped to care how I feel. That thought settles it. I shake my head. Sloane, there is nothing left for us to talk about. I turn and start walking toward Theo. Sloane stamps her foot, frantic. She moves to chase after me, but then, a cry of pain rings out from behind her. We both turn. Callum is crouched on the ground, clutching his chest, gasping for breath. Viv, he manages, face twisted in agony. Help me, I think I'm having an asthma attack. I feel terrible. Can you take me to the hospital? His complexion is perfectly fine. One look and you can tell he's faking. This is classic Callum. He used to pull this kind of stunt all the time, using it to compete for attention and drive a wedge between me and Sloane. But this time, Sloane's voice is flat. Callum, I'm in the middle of something. Get a cab. The words barely leave her mouth and Callum freezes. He clearly did not expect the Sloane who has always given him everything he ever asked for to say no. For just a moment, a flash of irritation and poison crosses his eyes, but quickly he summons his skills again, quite the performer this one. He presses his right hand hard against his chest, arranging his face into an expression as if the next breath might be his last. He manages a pale, fragile smile, forcing himself to sound gracious. It's okay, Viv, go deal with Gray first. What matters is sorting things out with him. I'm sure I'm not unlucky enough to actually die from this. I'll get myself to the hospital. He rises to his feet with great dramatic effort, staggers a couple of steps, looking for all the world like he's been stabbed multiple times and left to bleed out. When Sloane still doesn't move, Callum decides to go all in. He pretends his legs give out and goes crashing to the ground. His arm gets a tiny scrape, barely the size of a fingernail. Sloane's lashes tremble. Her eyes fill with a tenderness she can't hold back. In the end, she caves. She turns to me, guilt written all over her face. Grayson, this is a matter of life and death. I can't just stand by and do nothing. I need to get Callum to the hospital. I'll be right back. Just wait here for me. I'll be back soon, I promise. We can work everything out, okay? She doesn't wait for my answer. She rushes to help Callum into the car, floors the accelerator, runs every red light, and speeds off toward the hospital. I watch them disappear into the distance. I'm not surprised. As expected, Sloane chose Callum again. But this time, I won't be listening to any more of her explanations. And I won't be waiting for her. I come back to myself. Theo and I call a ride. We head back to pick up my things, then head straight for the airport. On the way there, I stare out the window at streets I know by heart. Everything feels slightly unreal. Since the day I came to this city with Sloane, it's been 10 years, and now that I'm leaving, I probably won't be coming back. I shake my head, pull my gaze away from the window. I'm about to close my eyes and rest, when all at once, my phone lights up with a string of notifications. I open them. It's a message from Callum, dripping with provocation. In the video he's attached, the Sloane who always carries herself with calm, unshakable composure, is now pacing the hospital corridor, frantic, like a child who has lost her most treasured toy. Doctor, please, you have to save him. He's young. He cannot die. Whatever it costs, I'll pay anything. Use the best imported medications. Bring in the best doctors. Within moments, Sloane throws her money around without hesitation, reserving the entire hospital floor for him, summoning every doctor and specialist on staff to his room, declaring he must be cured, or she will use her connections to cut off the hospital's access to imported equipment. And so the entire hospital scrambles, for a man who has absolutely nothing wrong with him, running in circles. Callum feels not a shred of guilt for wasting all of this. He's completely swept up in it, and sends me a message bursting with smugness. Grayson, you seeing this? This is what Viv's love looks like. When it came down to you and me, Viv chose me every time. You lost. 10 years with her, and did she ever do anything like this for you? I smile, unbothered. I give him exactly what he wants. A reply. Then I wish you both a long and happy life together. Message sent. I'm about to put the phone away when Sloane calls. I glance at the screen and decline it, but the next second, her messages come flooding in. Grayson, I told you I'd be right back. I told you to wait for me. Why didn't you listen? Where are you right now? Which airport? Send me your location. I'm coming to find you right now. I almost laugh. I waited for her in that same spot for 10 years, and she never once looked back. But the moment I finally decide to walk away, that's when she starts chasing. But it's too late. I am done. And I will not stop for her. I have made up my mind to leave. Only then does she start chasing after me. But it is already too late. I am completely done with her. I will not stay for her sake any longer. After that, Sloane's calls start to feel like noise. I switch off my phone entirely. At the airport, I sail through security without a hitch. I wave goodbye to Theo, and I am about to board the plane when a woman's voice cuts through the crowd behind me. Grayson? Wait! I turn around, and it is Sloane. Sweat drips down her face. She is gasping for breath, clearly having sprinted the whole way here. Before I can even react, she is standing right in front of me, her voice sharp with accusation. Grayson, why have you been ignoring my messages? Why didn't you just wait for me? Do you have any idea I almost lost you forever? I feel nothing. My expression stays completely cold as I push her away. How did you find me here? Did you plan to track her on my phone? Sloane's eyes go red at that. How could you say something like that? I called every single airline, went through every flight manifest just to track you down, and then I got stuck in traffic. I had to run the whole way. In heels, my feet are absolutely torn up and you do not even care? I glance down at her feet and the cheap, ill-fitting heels she is wearing, and let out a cold laugh. Sloane, I once spent a fortune on custom-made heels for you. Designer, made just for your feet. You turned them down and chose to wear a pair Callum bought off a street cart for $20, after haggling the price down for a pair that does not even fit you. You said it was his heartfelt gesture, not to be wasted, that wearing them long enough would break them in. Now your feet are bleeding. Go take that up with Callum. Why are you complaining to me? Sloane's face stiffens. The realization hits her that she brought this entirely on herself. After a long pause, she finally stammers, Grayson, I admit I have not been handling things well. It was my fault. I know you are upset because of the way I have been so careless with boundaries around Callum, and it hurt you. I promise you things will be different from now on. But I cannot live without you. Please do not go. Do not leave the country. Can we just start over? Give us another chance. This time, I will love you right. I say nothing. Sloane draws a slow breath, like she has made a decision. If you stay, we can go get our marriage license right now, today. That will not be necessary. She flinches at the rejection. Her brow knots into a tight frown. Grayson, I have bent over backwards for you. What more do you want? Do you need me to get on my knees before you are satisfied? I shake my head, my voice flat. Even if you knelt right now, it would not change anything. I have made my decision. I am leaving. I hope you and Callum are very happy together. Seeing that I will not budge, Sloane shifts into something darker. Grayson, you think leaving the country puts you out of my reach? With the position my company holds in this industry, I can have your background check flagged and make sure you regret this. I just smile. Really? Go ahead and try. Before she can respond, I grab my luggage and walk onto that plane without looking back. After a full day of flying, the moment the plane touches down, I spot him immediately. Mr. Ray, already waiting for me at the arrival gate. Grayson, I have been waiting for you, you lucky charm. Come on, let's go. I have set up an apartment for you near the office, about 1,000 square feet. Go take a look and see if it works for you. If it feels too small, I will upgrade you to a bigger place. Something warm stirs in my chest. Back home, the daily commute was draining hours from my life. I had once suggested to Sloane that I rent a small place near the office, even just a studio apartment, even something tiny, just to cut down on the commute and reclaim 4 hours every single day. Sloane had exploded the moment she heard it. She slammed a stack of files on the desk and accused me of throwing money around. She said the company was under enormous financial pressure, that even Callum knew better, cutting back on water at the office to help cut costs. And here I was, a founding member, only thinking about my own comfort, selfish and self-indulgent, with no regard for her or the company. What Sloane never stopped to consider was that with my capabilities, those 4 recovered hours every day could have generated hundreds of times the return on that rent. But no matter how I explained it, Sloane insisted I was making excuses, that I just could not handle a little hardship, finding reasons to slack off. We had a huge fight over it. It ended badly. She was so furious she packed her bags and checked into a hotel near the office, giving me the silent treatment for a full month, until I begged and apologized enough for her to finally let it go. I pull myself back to the present and shake my head. No point dwelling on the past. Once Mr. Ray gets me settled in, he takes me on a full tour of the new company and walks me through the onboarding process. With Mr. Ray and the HR team showing me the ropes, I settle into life abroad quickly and throw myself into the work. My results speak for themselves. Less than a week in, I close a multi-million-dollar deal for the company. Mr. Ray is thrilled. He promotes me on the spot and bumps my pay, and throws me a celebration dinner. My new colleagues are genuinely good people. Everyone has each other's backs. The atmosphere is healthy and energizing, and productivity soars as a result. Back at Sloane's company, everyone was too busy sucking up to Sloane or trying to get close to her favorite Callum to ever genuinely focus on their actual work. With a real work environment around me now, my career takes off, and my life finally starts to feel right. I think the worst is behind me and that things will only get better from here, but I have badly underestimated how far Sloane's spite will reach. In my second month at the company, I spend 2 weeks carefully building out a major Asia-Pacific partnership deal and push it all the way to the finish line. The client and I have even confirmed a time to meet. All that is left is for them to come in and sign. But on the morning of the signing, I sit in the lounge waiting for a full hour and receive nothing but a phone call from the client's director. "I am sorry, Mr. Grayson, but this partnership, we have to cancel it." My mind goes blank. I almost convince myself I misheard. "Cancel? Mr. Wu, you cannot be serious." I force down the panic rising in my chest and try to salvage the situation. Every single detail, we locked everything down together. Terms, timeline, cost. If anything is still not sitting right with you, we can absolutely revisit it. Mr. Ray went out on a limb to recruit me, offering me a package well above market rate, a premium apartment, and conditions far beyond anything I had at Sloane's company. I owe it to him, and I owe it to myself, to deliver. I cannot let Mr. Ray down. But on the other end of the line, Mr. Wu lets out a long, heavy sigh. "Mr. Grayson, this is not about money. I will be straight with you. Someone is coming after you behind the scenes. We are a small operation, and we simply cannot afford to get on this person's bad side." Coming after me? I've only been here a month. Who could I possibly have crossed? And then, in an instant, a name surfaces in my mind like a reflex. My knuckles tighten around the phone, going pale, my voice dropping to something cold and quiet. "Sloane?" Silence on the other end, but that silence says everything. After a long pause, Mr. Wu seems to steel himself and lowers his voice. "Mr. Grayson, I will not pretend otherwise. Several vendors in the industry have already received calls from Miss Sloane's side. She has made it clear any company that refuses to work with your firm will be compensated at double the going rate." Double. I murmur to myself and let out a laugh I cannot hold back. So that is how it is. That parting threat at the airport, "You will regret this," was not just hot air. She means every word of it. Willing to bleed her own company dry just to force me back. What a power move. But here is the thing. With her company's cash flow already on life support, paying double to poach my clients will not just cut into profits. She will not even break even. This is a kamikaze move. What on earth is giving her the nerve to act this recklessly? Then it hits me. A memory I had deliberately buried comes rushing back. The contract I personally secured for her. The one with Stellix Group, the top Asia-Pacific conglomerate, a 3-year partnership deal. That single contract alone generates over $1 billion in net profit for her every year. And I say this without exaggeration. I alone was carrying 70% of her company's total revenue. The undisputed top performer of the year every year. To say I was single-handedly keeping that company alive would not be an overstatement at all. She thinks that with this deal locked in, with this golden goose reliably laying eggs, she can spend recklessly, all just to settle a personal score. But for all her scheming, Sloane has forgotten one crucial thing. One thing that changes everything. She was so dazzled by the astronomical revenue that she never actually read the fine print. But I read every word of that contract. Every single clause is burned into my memory. The 3-year agreement requires that a new design submission be delivered each and every year, reviewed and approved by Stellix headquarters, before the next year of the partnership can continue. At this thought, I glance at my watch. I check the date. I do the math. 1 week from now is the final deadline for the second-year design submission. The reason Stellix chose to partner with a then-unknown company like ours was simple. They wanted my original design concepts and mine alone. Now that I am gone, I am genuinely curious to see what they can produce without me. Sloane's precious Callum, let's see what he actually comes up with. Oh, and one more thing. One more thing Sloane has almost certainly forgotten. I would bet on it. That contract came with enormous rewards, yes, but also enormous risk, all of which fell on her company. It is written in black and white. If the design submission fails to meet standards and Stellix terminates the deal unilaterally, Sloane's company must pay a penalty fee of 5 times the contract value as compensation. And 5 times that contract value is a number so large that even selling the entire company would not be enough to cover it. With that thought, the last trace of tension drains out of me, replaced by something calm and steady. Everything is already in motion. "Mr. Grayson? Mr. Grayson? Are you still there?" Mr. Wu's voice comes through the phone. I lean back into the lounge sofa, shifting into a more comfortable position. "Mr. Wu, no hard feelings. I understand. Business falls through sometimes. That does not mean we are done. I hope we get another chance down the road. And I have a feeling it will not be long before we are sitting across the table again." I hang up, toss the phone aside, and let the corner of my mouth curl up. "Sloane, you want to blacklist me? Go right ahead. I will be right here watching you light the fuse yourself and get blown apart by the bomb you buried with your own hands." Over the following week, sure enough, one by one, 3 or 4 more deals in progress fall apart. The emails from partners all read the same way. "We are sorry. Circumstances have changed." The mood in the office sinks to an all-time low. Everyone walks around like there's a blade hanging over their head. At our overseas branch, Mr. Ray, a hot-tempered man who does not suffer nonsense quietly, finally loses it in the conference room. His palm comes down hard on the table. The bang echoes through the room, rattling the cups and sending water splashing over the rims. This is outrageous. This is nothing short of corporate thuggery. Who does she think she is? Is this how you compete in business? This is deliberate sabotage of our reputation, playing completely dirty. Where is legal? Get me the paperwork. I am filing a lawsuit for unfair business practices. The room goes dead silent. No one dares to speak. I stay calm and smile quietly to myself. This is just the quiet before the storm. Sloan, the harder you swing, the worse the fall. I calmly pass Mr. Ray a bottle of water and keep my voice steady. Mr. Ray, save your energy. We collect the evidence quietly and let it build. As for the lawsuit, I pause, meeting his bloodshot eyes, and say slowly and clearly, we do not need to make a move. She's going to blow herself up. Mr. Ray eyes me with skepticism, clearly not convinced. I do not elaborate. The facts will speak for themselves. I have barely stepped out of the conference room and am heading back to my desk when my phone buzzes. A number I thought would never reach out to me again lights up on the screen. Sloan. I swipe to answer, not even bothering to find a quiet spot. Her voice comes through immediately, bubbling with barely contained glee. Grayson, how does it feel watching every deal you had fall through? Not going the way you planned, is it? Contract after contract gone. I bet Mr. Ray is losing his mind right now. He is probably about to fire you, blacklist you across the industry, and make sure you never recover. Am I right? There is something twisted in her voice, a sick satisfaction, like she is picturing me right now, panicked and cornered, with nowhere left to turn. I say nothing. I just listen, like I am watching a clown perform a one-person show. But my silence reads to her as weakness, and it only makes her more smug. Before I can say a word, Callum's voice slides in from the other side of the line, dripping with fake concern. Grayson, Sloan did not really mean any of it. Do not take it personally. We all work together. Why let it end like this? Just come back and apologize to Sloan, and we can put all of this behind us as a misunderstanding. There is no reason to throw your future away over one moment of impulse, right? What a perfect little duo, good cop and bad cop, and they are both terrible actors. I let out a quiet laugh. My future? Sloan, instead of worrying about my future, maybe get yourself a competent accountant and take a hard look at your own books, because I do not think your cash flow is going to last much longer. On the other end, Sloan's laughter cuts off instantly, replaced by a cold, furious snort. Grayson, you are on the edge of collapse and you still dare to curse me? You must really want out of this industry for good. I will give you one last chance. Right now, immediately. Hand over every single client file you have to Callum, then come back and apologize to both of us, properly. If you behave yourself, I might consider reinstating you as design director. Otherwise, you can sit there and wait to be permanently erased from this industry. I hear this and feel like I just heard the joke of the century. Erased from the industry? I have a feeling that when the dust settles, the name getting erased will not be mine. I glance at my wrist, checking my watch. 4 o'clock on the dot, perfect timing. I clear my throat and remind her with a cold smile in my voice. Sloan, do you happen to remember that contract you signed, the 3-year deal with Stellix Group? That lands. There is a noticeable pause on her end. Then she scoffs, dismissive as ever. What, finally realizing you have gone too far? Getting desperate and trying to pull strings? Grayson, who do you think you are? You want to use Stellix as leverage now? Too late. I let her finish and continue calmly. Count the days, Sloan. Today is the final deadline for Stellix Group to review your second-year design submission. I expect you will be receiving their formal notice of termination very shortly. What did you just say? Something shifts in Sloan's voice, a barely detectable crack of panic, but she pulls herself together fast like she is brushing off something absurd. Terminate? Grayson, have you lost your mind? That is pure fantasy. A conglomerate the size of Stellix Group is going to listen to a fired ex-employee? Who exactly do you think you are? Before I can respond, Callum jumps in again, draping himself in fake concern, playing the reasonable one. Yeah, Grayson, Stellix Group is literally the top player across all of Asia Pacific. Even Sloan herself has only met their senior leadership a handful of times. If you try to reach out to them directly, the best case is they ignore you. But if they take it as an insult, and it puts the company and the contract at risk, that is a mess none of us need. The moment Callum says that, Sloan flares up immediately. So that is why you suddenly brought up Stellix Group. You are trying to sabotage us from the inside, deliberately stir things up just to destroy our relationship with Stellix. Is that it, Grayson? You really are something else. But almost immediately, something seems to occur to Sloan. She lets out a cold laugh. But for all your scheming, I bet you did not expect that I have already sent word to every company in the industry about your termination and blacklisting. If you are trying to cause trouble, shift the blame, and get someone else to clean up your mess, forget it. Now hand over everything you have, every file, every client detail at your new company, and I will consider letting you off the hook, maybe even let you come back for a paycheck. The sheer arrogance in her voice, that condescending charity act, it actually makes me laugh. They do not take direction from me, Sloan. They look at the design submission. And that design submission, do you have it? Do you hear what I am saying? The design submission. Sloan brushes it off. Oh please, design this, design that. Stop trying to be mysterious. My company and Stellix Group are strategic partners. She does not even get to finish the sentence. From the other end of the line, there is a sudden burst of rapid, loud knocking on a door. followed immediately by her assistant's voice, frantic and breathless, cutting right through the phone speaker and straight into my ear. "Miss Sloan, this is urgent. Miss Sloan, the Asia-Pacific representatives from Stellix Group are here, unannounced, and they are demanding to see you right now." On the other end, Sloan goes completely silent. I can picture exactly what her face looks like right now, the shift from arrogance to confusion, and then to clenched-jawed dread. Sure enough, she comes back at me. "Grayson, what did you do? Do not think for a second that quitting clears you of responsibility. If something goes wrong with the Stellix deal, you, as former design director, are not off the hook. The damages are on you too." There it is, turning around on me. I let a beat of silence pass, then let out a cold laugh and do not waste another word. "I am sorry, Miss Sloan, but you already fired me. I am a former employee. A hole this size is not mine to fill. Every single loss, that is on you." A beat of silence. Before she can respond, the assistant cuts in again. "Miss Sloan, they have brought the contract with them and are requesting an in-person handover." At that, something clicks for Sloan. She actually seems to relax and deliberately holds the phone closer as she taunts me. "Grayson, did you catch that? This is just routine procedure. The second year is coming up. They are simply here to check in. That is all." Footsteps grow louder outside the door, and a group of people in sharp suits file into the room. Leading the group is the Stellix Asia-Pacific representative, a middle-aged man with a face carved from stone. He is holding a thick stack of documents, sits down without a word, and slaps the contract onto the table. "We are here today to follow the agreed-upon procedure and conduct an in-person review of the second-year design submission and complete the project handover." Sloan snaps on a polished smile. "Of course, we are fully prepared. Please go ahead and review at any time." She turns to Callum, shooting him a pointed look to hand over the materials. But Callum just stares back, completely blank. "What design submission?" The entire room goes silent, and the only sound that comes through is my quiet laugh on the other end of the phone. This so-called top talent, who spent his days eating, gaming, and doing nothing of substance, has just realized he is completely useless in this moment. The Stellix representative watches Callum's blank expression and his frown deepens. He opens the contract to the first page and taps the clause firmly with his finger. "Did your company not commit to delivering one original design submission per year? If you are unable to deliver again this year, we will have no choice but to pursue legal action for breach of contract." Callum's mouth twitches, and he mutters under his breath, "Grayson is gone. Nobody told me anything. Where exactly was I supposed to get a new design?" That is the moment the Stellix representative puts it all together. His expression darkens like a storm rolling in. He fixes his gaze on Sloan, his voice dropping to something cold and dangerous. "Would you care to explain what exactly your company is doing? We had a clear agreement. The contract specifically calls for Grayson's original design work and nothing else. Are you under the impression that Stellix Group can be brushed off with just anyone you pull off the street handing us some throwaway work?" The temperature in the room plummets. The air conditioning suddenly feels redundant. Sensing the situation spiraling, Sloan bows quickly and starts apologizing, all while shooting desperate looks at Callum to back her up. She is silently begging him to say something. But Callum's brain is still completely offline. He stands there frozen, like a deer caught in headlights. Because on any given day at the office, Callum was either holed up in Sloan's office playing the devoted boyfriend, or parked at his own desk gaming from morning to night. Never mind entertaining clients or negotiating contract terms, he could not even handle the most basic Word document or Excel spreadsheet. Basic office tools were beyond him. Every single time he coasted entirely on his relationship with Sloan, throwing his weight around, ordering other people to do every bit of his work for him. The Stellix representative lets his expression go fully flat, closes the folder, stands up and says, "In that case, we will be formally initiating legal proceedings, filing for damages against your company, terminating all partnership agreements effective immediately, and notifying the relevant industry associations and global supply chain platforms as a warning to others. Anyone who chooses to do business with your company after this does so at their own risk." Every word he speaks thickens the air a little more. Hearing this, Sloan fights to hold herself together, but her breathing is visibly unraveling. "Wait, there must be some misunderstanding here. Please give us a little time to sort this out." He cuts her off without flinching. 10 minutes. After that, Stellix Group's legal team will contact the industry representatives directly and proceed according to Stellix Group's standard protocol. Thwack. The folder snaps shut on the table 10 times sharper than the sound of Mr. Ray's palm earlier. In that moment, I find myself feeling something almost like nostalgia for the woman she used to be. Fierce, untouchable, convinced she could never fall. But it passes in a flash. Gone just as quickly as it came. Because some debts always come due. And this one is hers to settle, not someone else's to clean up. Just as Sloan is sinking into full panic, Callum snaps out of his daze and suddenly turns the attack on me, positioning himself as the voice of moral outrage. "Grayson, how could you do this? You are a founding member of this company. Now that things have gone this wrong, you not only stand by and do nothing, you're practically cheering for it to collapse. Have you forgotten everything Sloan has done for you, all the support and opportunity she gave you? Without Sloan and this company, would you even be where you are today?" The moment those words leave Callum's mouth, I burst out laughing on my end of the line. Not loud, but through the speakerphone, every single person in that room with their ears perked up hears every word. Support opportunities? He actually has the nerve to say that. I lean back in my chair, my voice laced with open contempt. Nurture me? Develop my talent? Have you already forgotten that when I joined this company it was nothing more than a bare-bones shoestring operation with nothing to its name? And Sloane herself back then could not even read a basic quote sheet. She was a complete outsider to the business. I slow my words down, each one landing like ice. It was me pulling all-nighters, burning through draft after draft, who built up the team that actually keeps this company running. And as for the word opportunity, hearing it come out of your mouth is the biggest insult I have ever received. Every client relationship this company has today, go ask Sloane. Every single one came from my own pocket, real money, and a string of client dinners that wrecked my stomach to build. And then ask her this. In those first 2 years when we were starting out, what did she say? She said the company was struggling. She asked me to understand. Not a single raise. Then the company started making real money. And what did she say then? She said she needed to reinvest in growth. She handed me one enormous empty promise, saying she would make it up to me double later. And what happened? I pause, let out a short laugh, like I am delivering the punchline to the world's most pathetic joke. What happened was your precious golden boy, a guy who waltzed in knowing absolutely nothing, drove off with a brand new sports car, and me, the one who built this empire from scratch, who pulled it back from the edge every single time it was about to fall. What did I get? I got thrown out. I got threatened with a blacklist. Now the company is staring down a massive hole. You are both in full panic mode, and suddenly you want me back to clean up the mess. I ask one final question, my voice dropping quiet and sharp. On what grounds? The words hit the air, and the other end of the line goes dead silent. But then, underneath that silence, I start to hear my former colleagues, their voices leaking through, low and unstoppable, buzzing like a swarm of bees. Gray is right. Back then, without him, this company would have gone under long ago. Exactly. What was she thinking, pushing out the one person holding everything together for some pretty boy freeloader? Did you all forget? That one difficult client we had, everyone else had been working on them for 6 months and got nowhere. Gray made one phone call and closed a 10-year deal in 10 minutes. It is over. Gray is really not coming back. This company is done. These voices are not loud, but they are just loud enough for every person in that conference room to catch every word. I can picture it perfectly. The looks on Sloane's and Callum's faces right now, more colorful than a full paint palette. I let out a quiet, cold laugh. Whatever happens to that company is none of my concern. Sloane brought every bit of this on herself. All right, I say flatly. Show's over. I hang up, and in the very next second, Sloane's voice burst through. Do not hang up. I have something important to tell you. I frown, half expecting another round of screaming and insults. But instead, after a long pause, Sloane takes a slow breath and says quietly, almost small, Gray, I was wrong. Her voice shifts into something, soft and tender, as if we never broke up, as if we are still the couple we once were. I am caught off guard. For a second, I wonder if I misheard. This woman, who has always looked down on everyone and barked orders like she owned the world, is actually backing down on her own, handing me a way out. But when I think about it, it makes sense. Her biggest safety net, Stellix Group, is about to cut her off completely. What other option does she have, other than begging me to come back and fix the disaster she created? There is none. But this flip from arrogance to flattery is almost too absurd not to laugh at. Sloane, there is no need for all this sweetness. We broke up. That is a fact. You need to let this go. I am not flying back to clean up your mess. Caught out, Sloane stumbles for a moment, then fumbles. Gray, please do not be angry. I acted out of anger. I was not thinking straight. I am taking back the termination. Please come back. Come back and help me. Her voice is dripping with calculated sweetness, and it turns my stomach. I cannot help but scoff. Miss Sloane, you stood in that airport and told me the company runs just fine with or without me. After all, you have Callum, your top talent. You also said that when the company really hit a crisis, he would step up and show what he is made of, pull the company back from the edge, and turn everything around. So what happened? There is an audible hitch in her breathing on the other end. A beat of silence. Then Sloane, like someone who has decided to go all in, forces out an offer that clearly costs her something. Gray, I know I have made mistakes running the company. A lot of what I did was wrong, but I mean it this time. I am asking you to come back. If you do, I will promote you immediately, make you head of design, in charge of the entire team. How does that sound? Quite a promise. The last time she actually gave me a promotion was 5 years ago. All these years, to keep me under her control and make sure I was never a threat, Sloane had deliberately blocked my promotions more than once, leaving me stuck for 5 straight years, my salary and title completely frozen in place. But I am no longer the person who can be strung along by a few well-chosen words. I give her 2 words. Not enough. Before the words even settle, Callum slides back into his fake peacemaker routine. Grayson, come on, do not be greedy. He adopts the tone of someone delivering a lecture, loading every word with guilt. You cannot just cut people off like this. Sloane has been so good to you. She took care of you, gave you everything. How can you just walk away without any consideration for what she has done for you? You are being so selfish. When I hear Callum say the word selfish, a cold laugh escapes me before I can stop it. Callum, the great talent, you have been so thoroughly pampered by Sloane that you have lost all sense of what a normal person's life actually looks like, let alone any idea of how ridiculous the things you just said sound to me. When I was building this company alongside Sloane from the ground up, I lived on almost nothing. Every day, boiled vegetables, a splash of vinegar, a drizzle of soy sauce, and that was my meal. Even the cigarettes I smoked were the cheapest I could find. The car I drove was an old beat-up compact that had seen over a decade of use, with a broken air conditioner, sweating through summers, freezing through winters. All I did was mention once that I was hoping to save up for a new car, nothing too fancy. And do you know what Sloane said? She said, "Gray, we are building a startup. How can you be so focused on money, so vain? Do you have any idea what a car like that actually costs once you factor in all the extras, the total number? And buying it is just the beginning. Then comes maintenance, repairs, and if you get into an accident, the costs are endless. It is a financial black hole." The sad part is I actually believed her. But you simply liked to post on social media featuring the latest Porsche, and by the next day she had already swiped her card, handing you the keys. Called it a company car, for the convenience of driving her to and from work. I stopped talking. But sometimes silence lands harder than any words. I can almost see it, the dead silence hanging over that conference room, and the look on my former colleagues' faces as the pieces click into place. The way they must be staring at Callum right now, seeing him for exactly what he is, a kept man living off someone else's work. After a long silence, Sloane's voice finally comes back. This time every trace of her usual arrogance is gone. "Gray, I admit it, I wronged you. So to make it right, I am offering you 20% of the company. Just come back and fix the Stellix situation, handle this crisis, and from this point on you will be the second largest shareholder." Now that is a serious offer. 3 months ago, I might have been moved to tears and said yes on the spot, but the person I am now feels nothing. That door closed a long time ago. It could work, in theory. On the other end, Sloane seems to exhale with relief, but I follow it immediately with my actual terms, one word at a time. But 20% is not enough. I want at least 50. What? The moment she hears that, Sloane's voice goes sharp and shrill, like someone just stepped on a cat's tail. "Grayson, have you lost your mind? 50%? Why not just rob me? Do you honestly think this company cannot survive without you?" I listen to her fuming on the other end and feel nothing but a hollow calm. She really has forgotten, completely and totally. Forgotten the moment she held my hand and made me a promise. "I am done going in circles," I say quietly with an edge. "Sloane, do you remember 3 years ago when the company could not make payroll, what you told me?" "What, 3 years ago?" On the other end, her fury cuts off mid-breath, replaced by a long, heavy silence. I know she remembers now. After a long pause, she swallows and says carefully, "Gray, of course I remember. It is not that I do not want to give it to you. It is just not possible right now. But I will, in the future, I promise." Even now, Sloane is still handing me empty promises. I laugh quietly without warmth. No need for the future. Charity from someone like you is something I, Grayson, do not need. With that, I give her no chance to say another word. One tap of my finger and the call ends. I block her number. And just like that, the world goes quiet. Everything that follows plays out exactly as I expected. Stellix Group's legal team moves fast. Within 1 week, the formal notice of termination and a legal demand for 5 times the penalty fee arrived together, both delivered directly to Sloane's desk. The vendor she had poached with double the going rate the moment they hear Stellix is pulling out, they flip immediately, and turn around to sue her for unfair business practices, seeking their own damages. And once the first domino falls, there is no stopping the rest. Within no time, what had been a thriving company is buried in lawsuits, drowning in debt, and the stock price craters. As for Sloane, that threat she threw at me about blacklisting me from the industry is now the biggest joke of all. A company that can barely keep itself afloat, with its reputation in ruins, has exactly zero leverage over anyone. And with that blockade gone, at Mr. Ray's company, I quickly cement my position with a string of strong design wins. When Mr. Ray learns about what I went through in my last relationship, wanting to help me move on faster, he actually takes it upon himself to set me up. "Grayson, what do you think of Luna from our team?" The question catches me off guard. I blink. Luna joined the HR team not long ago, young, but sharp and composed beyond her years. In the time since she started, she has not put a foot wrong, and has actually gone out of her way to help me, a stranger in a foreign country, settle in. And of course, she is widely regarded as the most beautiful woman in the office. Not just her looks, but when she smiles, there is something genuinely warm about it, like it dissolves the weight of a long day in an instant. Compared to Sloane, who always wore a look like everyone around her owed her something, Luna is a completely different world. I nod. She is great, smart, capable, and easy on the eyes. "But Mr. Ray, why are you asking?" Mr. Ray gives me a sly smile. "Perfect. I knew you had good taste. Luna is my daughter, born with her mother who is white. She actually told me not long ago that from the moment she joined the company she had a thing for you. So I am just going to come out and say it. My daughter wants to take you to the movies tonight. Do not blow it." Before I can respond, he drops 2 movie tickets on the desk, grins, and closes the door behind him. I stand there for a moment, caught off guard, then quietly slip the tickets into my pocket. A new life. Maybe meeting someone new is not such a bad idea. That evening, Luna and I grab dinner and catch the movie. Maybe it is the open, easy culture here, but after the film ends, Luna wraps her arm around mine without any hesitation, pulls me in for a photo, and posts it. Less than a minute later, an account comments, "Grayson, who is this woman?" I do not recognize the account. We had been drinking, so I do not think much of it and assume it is some old acquaintance I have long lost touch with. But when I wake up the next morning, my phone will not stop buzzing. That is when I notice that same account from last night has been on a posting spree, flooding the feed with photos of Sloan and Callum together, showing off the car she bought him, and announcing that she has promoted Callum to the vice president role I had once worked so hard toward, all while flaunting their relationship. And then it clicks. This is a burner account Sloan registered years ago. She is posting all of this to get under my skin, to make me regret leaving, but I feel absolutely nothing. I block and delete the burner account without a second thought. Done, in one sweep. The world gets noticeably quieter after that. I think I will never have to see Sloan again, but I have underestimated just how far she is willing to go. The next time I see her is at a company team outing, 3 months later. I have just wrapped up the activities for the day and step out of the private room when I come face to face with Sloan, standing right there at the entrance. The moment she sees me, Sloan's eyes light up. She jogs over to me and grabs my hand. Grayson, why did you block and delete me? And since you left, I have been posting every day on social media, flaunting things with Callum. I posted so much, so why are you not even a little jealous? You used to be completely unable to stand seeing me and Callum close. Back then, I just shared a cup of coffee with him, sipped from the same straw, and you flipped the table in anger. Now you have no reaction at all? I give her a cold smile. You are right, I did flip the table. But was it not you who said I was too controlling, that my mind went to dirty places, that I saw something wrong in everything? You also told me that you and Callum were strictly professional and I needed to stop overthinking. Was it not you who kept telling me to be more open-minded? Well, now I am. You should be thrilled. Seeing that I will not budge, Sloan tightens her grip on my hand, a flicker of panic crossing her face. But you have become so indifferent that you do not even care about me anymore. That is not right. Can you just go back to the way you were? Since you left, there has not been a single day I have not thought about you. All those posts I put up with Callum, I only did it to make you jealous. But you did not react at all. I admit it, you won. This has gone on long enough. You have made your point. Is that not enough? Look at what I have done for you. I pushed through my own fears, and I got on a plane and came here. Stop being stubborn. Come back with me, please. The fact that Sloan actually got on a plane, overcoming what I know is a real fear for her, does genuinely surprise me. But it does not change anything. I am not going back. The hurt she caused does not just disappear because of an apology, or a change in behavior. Some things leave a mark that stays. I pull my hand away and say slowly and clearly, Sloan, let it go. I am not going back with you. We are done. And I stopped loving you a long time ago. Sloan shakes her head, refusing to accept it. That is impossible. You love me so much. How can you just stop like that? I fire back without softening it. Did you not do the same thing to me? The moment Callum showed up, your heart started drifting without you even realizing it. Every business trip, every dinner out, those were just excuses to spend time with Callum, were they not? Did you really think I had no idea? Sloan goes silent. Then her eyes land on the bracelet on my wrist and something lights up in her expression. Grayson, I knew it. You still have feelings for me. Why else would you still be wearing the matching bracelets we got from that matchmaking temple? But these are not the bracelets from Sloan and me. These belong to me and my current girlfriend. The one from Sloan, I threw it out long ago. I am about to explain when Luna steps out of the private room behind me, slides her hand through my arm and faces Sloan directly. You must be Sloan, my boyfriend's ex. You have it wrong. These bracelets are mine and Grayson's, not yours. Sloan stares at Luna, standing close to me, completely at ease, and she freezes for a long moment. Then she demands, what did you just say, boyfriend? You two are together? I do not believe it. Grayson loves me. How could he possibly be with someone else? Then something seems to occur to her, and she relaxes with a knowing smile. I see what this is. Grayson, you hired this woman to make me jealous. She is an actress, right? Not a bad performance, but the bracelet does not lie. My name is engraved on it. She snatches the bracelet off my wrist as she speaks, but when she looks down at it and sees the name engraved there, Luna, she goes completely still. How? Why is it not my name? I say plainly, these are my girlfriend's and my matching bracelets. Of course they have my girlfriend's name on them. Sloan finally realizes I have been telling the truth. Grayson, I am the only one who gets to be your girlfriend. I will never accept this. Luna laughs softly and says with easy calm, Ms. Sloan, you are Grayson's ex. Your acceptance is not required. Actually, I owe you a thank you. If you had not been so blind and failed to appreciate what you had in Grayson, I would never have found such an incredible boyfriend. You are the one who brought us together. When we get married, we will absolutely send you a wedding invitation. I pull Luna close and look at Sloan without warmth. Sloan, we are over. Please do not come back into my life. Sloan looks like she is about to say something more, but her phone rings. Whatever she hears on the other end, the moment she hangs up, she is gone. With her gone, Luna and I let it go without another thought and carry on with our evening. For the next week, I do not see Sloan anywhere. I assume she has finally accepted that there is nothing left to salvage and has gone back home. But one evening after work, I am heading home with groceries, planning to cook Luna a proper Chinese meal. A real thank you for everything she has done for me over these past months. But when I reach the door, I notice the kitchen light is on inside, and the smell of something cooking drifts out. Luna has been pestering me lately to teach her Chinese cooking. A small smile crosses my face. It looks like she finished work early and is getting a surprise ready for me. I unlock the door quietly, tiptoeing in to catch her off guard, but the moment the door swings open, I stop dead. Because the person standing in my kitchen is not Luna. It is Sloane. She is wearing the white dress I gave her years ago, right after I graduated, and she is carefully setting the last dish on the table. She sees me, startles for a moment, then forces a smile. "Gray, you are home? You must be tired. I made some of the dishes you used to love. Do not read into it. I am not here to cause trouble. I just wanted to say a proper goodbye. You always used to say these were your favorite dishes." I look at the table full of spicy Sichuan food, red oil and chilies everywhere, and feel absolutely nothing. It is true, there was a time I could not eat without spice. Even when Sloane would just stir-fry some leftover rice with chili sauce, I would eat it like it was a proper meal. But she seems to have forgotten, or perhaps she never paid attention to begin with. All those years of working myself into the ground for that company, the endless client dinners and late nights wrecked my health. I developed a stomach condition years ago, have been on medication ever since, and have not been able to eat anything spicy since. After all those years together, she did not even know that. I come back to the present. My gaze on her goes cold. I do not even pick up the chopsticks. I take everything off the table, dishes and all, and drop it straight into the trash. 10 seconds. Get out of my home, or I am calling the police and reporting you for breaking and entering. Sloane's eyes fill with tears. Gray, so much has happened lately. I just wanted to. Before she can finish, I cut her off. 10 seconds. She searches my face and finds nothing there for her anymore. Sloane bites down hard on her lip, then turns and runs out the door, eyes red. I do not watch her go. I quietly call a locksmith and have the lock replaced with a better one. The next time I hear anything about Sloane is a week later, and that is when I find out why she left so suddenly that day. Callum had emptied the company accounts and vanished. By the time Sloane made it back home, the company had already collapsed from the cash flow failure. Sloane was buried in debt, with no way to ever climb back out. She had used the last of her money to fly out and find me, to say goodbye. After that, maybe because she felt there was nothing left, she used the location tracking from the phone she had bought Callum to track him down in another country and confront him. When she learned that every move Callum had ever made toward her was calculated, that it had all been about the money, Sloane snapped. She put every loss, every failure, every broken thing in her life on him. She pulled out a pair of scissors she had been carrying in her bag and drove them into his chest. From what I heard, the way Callum died was not clean. Stabbed more than a dozen times in the chest, and that smooth-talking mouth of his was cut away by Sloane. After killing Callum, Sloane was arrested, sentenced, and extradited back home. In prison, she calls me, full of regret. The call comes through. "Grayson, I was wrong. You warned me about Callum from the very beginning. I thought you were just jealous. I should have trusted you. If I had, none of this would have happened. Callum destroyed everything. Grayson, I am sorry. Can you forgive me? When I get out, can we get married?" I answer flatly, "I will not forgive you. I will not wait for you. Goodbye, Sloane. Actually, no, not goodbye. We are done." I hang up, and right at that moment the officiant at the wedding ceremony calls my name. "Grayson, do you take Luna as your wife? To have and to hold, to stand by each other, for as long as you both shall live?" "I do." And in the next breath, a quiet smile crosses my face as I walk up to the altar, straight toward the woman who is only ever mine.